keeps it HD.
Well, hello everybody, and hello all of you online virtually. Welcome to Activate Your Power Now. Thank you. It's that simple.
And we are here at it again, one more time. We're AYPN, where your story is your pathway to your power and to your purpose. And today we have a lovely lineup of speakers who came to share what gratitude and thankfulness means to them.
We have 6 great speakers. I believe they've all been on the stage before. So they're some of your favorites. I know you're going to be so excited about this and what they have to say. First, I want to thank Micah Norman, our event planner, for hosting us again at the Yellow Door event space in Olathe. You have to come check them out. It's a beautiful space. They host for all kinds of big, small, medium, indoor, outdoor, whatever your needs are. If they can't take care of you, they know someone who can. So please reach out, the Yellow Door Cafe, Micah Norman, and thank you so much. We can't extend enough gratitude to you guys for housing us these last couple months, and we're just very, very, very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And also giving the thanks to TLA
Yes,
for
thank you.
bringing their wonderful teas and keeping everybody caffeinated.
Woo-hoo.
Alert.
Hydrated and energized. So I have to admit, it's my guilty pleasure. I'm at TLA Nutrition at least once a week minimum. I have to have my teas, my protein shakes, and they have other goodies. So they're in Shawnee, Kansas. Please check them out. Follow them also on social media. And we're very thankful for Sarah as well.
Mm-hmm. And one last one. Be grateful for yourself.
Yes.
For coming out here and actually having the courage to share your story one more time, one more again. With that being said, would you like to introduce the first speaker?
Yeah, our first speaker, actually, it is her birthday today. So you already know before we even get started, let's go ahead and sing her happy birthday. Let's do it together.
Let's bring her up right
We
now.
want to draw all this energy, give all this love to her, all this gratitude, because not only is she an activator in her own life, she has activated her story, her power. She shows up in that consistently. She's been a part of Activate Your Power now for 2 years, and she has donated her time to be our photographer as well, her and her daughter Jazz, who just had a birthday as well. Happy birthday, Jazz! So they donate their time, and all those wonderful pictures you see on our marketing, it's thank you to Abigail. So let's give her lots of love with this happy birthday that we're about to sing. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Abigail. Woo! Happy birthday to you. We honor you. We're grateful for you. And we just are just so grateful that we get to share you and your story with the world, because it's a powerful one about gratitude and so much more.
We love you.
Yes, we love
You
you.
guys are gonna make me cry before I
Love
even
you,
start
girl.
talking.
I want to have real quick, and then you can get started. Abigail Umfred.
Thank you, everyone. Well, before you guys sit down, can everybody stand up real quick for me? All right, I'm gonna ask you all a question, and if you're out in the audience in the world, you can answer this too. If you haven't, I'm 31 years old, by the way, today. 31. That's 3 decades in the first, this extra year. I feel like that was just growth, but 3 decades. And so if you have it all figured out, you can stay standing. Everyone else, if you don't have it figured out yet, at whatever age God has you at, oh, look at you, Gary. You have it all figured out. I don't about my story, right? In these 31 years and some of the things that I have learned that has got me here today, and it's got me grateful, and just I am just absorbed with so much gratitude in my life. Especially this year has been a really, really hard year for me and my kids. Okay, just breathe. You know, I know, but I put on makeup today so I wouldn't start crying. But you know, if it happens, it happens. So I come from a very dysfunctional but unorthodox family dynamic. My parents were foster parents, and so for the first 10 or so years of my life, I had lots of external influences. My brothers, my grandfather lived with us for a period of time, and then my whole world kind of just changed overnight. My parents were in a domestic dispute, and we packed up and we moved to Kansas City, and we moved in with my grandparents. And at that time, it was, I'm sure, devastating to my mom, but as a child, I had no idea what this woman was going through. I had no idea what she just had to do or what she was experiencing to have to just, I mean, she broke the picture, right? Everybody has a picture in their head of what you think your life should be, you know? And for me, after watching and experiencing that with my mom for a long time, my picture was a white picket fence, and it was going to be a big house and a good job and money, 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 money. And as long as I made good money, everything else didn't matter. And God dog walked me. He did. I mean, I don't know what else to say other than God was like, every time, he's like, nope, 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 come down a little bit. And so we moved to Kansas City, and, you know, I was a tyrant all the way up until my mom passed away when I was 18 years old. And I ran the streets, and I was looking for something, and I call it the this, right? Because we're all looking for this. We don't know what it is quite, but we know that we don't have it right now, and we're willing to do anything to get it, right? And for me, it was, I wanted something that I didn't see anyone around me have, and I wanted that unconditional, genuine love. And I was willing to go through and do anything to get it. I really was. Like, my first relationship, I was 14, he was 21. And everyone in the room got quiet because that's not cool, man. But I was 14, and at that time, I thought I was the smartest person in the world. I thought I had it all figured out, and I was going to be the exception to the rule. And I dropped out of high school, and I almost married this man. Can we say thank you? Thank you. That didn't happen, okay? You know, because God, as soon as, you know, I told God my plan, and he, like, within a week or so, it was over. After years of being attached to this person, God just opened my eyes and was like, no, homegirl, stop it. We have a different plan for you, okay? So at that point, I am 18 years old. My mom is still alive. And I'm like, I'm going to go get my GED now. I need to start doing something with my life. So I go to get my GED, and I see this really good looking, handsome man in my GED class. And that one is the one that I want. Okay. That lasted 10 years. And I got 2 beautiful kids out of it. Now, again, thank you. And I almost married that man too. You know, but again, I had this picture in my head that we did. In that 10 years, we got the house. The house wasn't the problem anymore. Now we have a 4-bedroom, 2,000 square foot house. I, at that point, started a business. And I'm, you know, our daughter was born. Our youngest daughter has special needs. And I'm like, okay, I will refuse to be seen as anything less than what I tell people I'm going to be. And so I started this business, and in the first 3 years I was bringing in over 6 figures by myself. And I was like, thank God, we're making money, you know, like we're getting bouncy houses in the backyard, and you want 1 cake, we're getting 2 because you want chocolate and you want vanilla. And it was great when I could give my kids everything that their heart desired. I did learn very quickly that the smaller they are, the more than I can afford, because they don't asked for as many things, right? You know, so I quickly learned that the older that she got, my checkbook got down and down and down. But in this so that ended, right? That ended for me, and 2 years ago, I had spent my entire 20s with this man. And I loved him. I did. I loved him so much, and still today, I have so much love for that person. But it's in a different light now, And I think that's where the point that I've come to in my life is that you can experience these people, even if they are not. How do I explain that? Even if it is not meant to be your soulmate or your other person, you can still have so much gratitude. And I'm still so grateful he gave me 2 beautiful children and the 10 years of experience. And so we fast forward, to this year. And we found out in May that the father of my kids is sick, And when I ended that relationship with him 2 years ago, I was so angry. All I could think about was everything I had missed out on in 10 years and everything that that really didn't matter, but it should have, it mattered to me. It really mattered. I was like, it's not fair, and I had every bitter baby mama reason of why it wasn't fair. It's not fair that he gets to live a single lifestyle, and it's not fair that I'm still holding, this heavy weight on my shoulders. It's just not fair, God. Why me? Why do I have to do all of this by myself? I don't think that it's right that he should be able to do this. And for the first time in my life, as I'm saying all this, and it's not fair, I am looking around, and all I have is God. I have my tribe, I have people, but it's you're alone. You're completely alone in this season of your life. And you're learning that it doesn't have to be fair to be beautiful.
That's right.
It doesn't have to be fair to be meaningful and to give your life so much richness. And so for him getting sick this year, I was humbled, because where is all this anger? Why do I have all this anger for a man that is fighting for his life right now? He's fighting for his life right now, and is it money? Is money the reason why I'm so mad at this person? Is it, things that I think he's wronged me on? Is that why? And when I'm sitting there talking to God, he's telling me that you're holding all of this anger, not towards him. You're angry at yourself, Abigail. You're angry at yourself. You're angry because I try to show gratitude as much as I can in my life, but there are instances like this, like my previous relationship with the father of my kids, like that picture being broken. And I'm angry at myself that I didn't get my picture, And so, but what did that do? That started such a beautiful ripple of events this year that I can't even tell you. It was nothing but God. It was nothing but God. I started off January 2024, $20,000+ in debt. I owed everyone I know money. I was trying to sustain this lifestyle that I had built for my kids. I was trying to sustain this picture. I have 30,000+ followers, and I didn't want to let anybody down. I wanted everyone to say, like, okay, my life's falling apart, but I'm still fine, guys. I'm still fine. I'm going to be fine. It's fine, and I just kept telling myself, like, it's fine. It's going to be fine. And I just kept trying to get up, right? So I just kept trying to say it's fine. And I had a really hard time acknowledging that it wasn't. And there's a few people in this room that had to really, really keep me grounded because all I wanted to do was float away for a while. So I started off this year in debt, and I just tried to open a photography business. And as soon as I tried, I did the damn thing. I now own a photography business. But that was a huge eye-opener for me because every other time in my life, I was able to start something and then kill it, right? And I was struggling mentally to get the work done and put what would need to be done into this new company, right? I was just trying to erase all this pain and just push it to the side and just hyper focus on this career, this work. And it got to right at Valentine's Day. So 2.5 months of dragging my kids every single night, right? Where I'm dragging them almost every night out to the studio, and we were charging, you know, a couple $100 for us to have groceries and whatever. And it was nowhere near what I was making before, I'll tell you that. But what I learned in that was one night I had somebody lined up, and I told Giselle, my oldest daughter, I was like, come on, baby, we gotta go, we gotta do this. She's like, Mom, I'm tired. I'm tired. You know, I wanna stay home. I wanna relax. I wanna decompress. And it hit me that I was dragging my baby through so I set all my pain over here, and I'm doing what I'm doing, and I am dragging my kids through my pain, right? I don't want to acknowledge that it's hurting me, but you can physically see that it is hurting them. And so I had to sit down, and by that, I mean, I had to really stop and think, who are you doing this for? Who are you doing this for? Are you doing this for yourself, or are you doing this for your kids? Because it's easy when you're chasing things and, you know, just trying to find the next thing to say, like, oh, this is for the best for them. But they're physically struggling right now, and you're not doing anything about it. And so I said, okay. I called a former friend of mine, or not former friend, he's a good friend of mine. He was a former boss. And I said, man, I'm going to be real honest with you. And I'm not doing good right now. I'm in a real big hole, and I don't know how to get up. And I went from 2023 making $10,000 a month, and we were lucky if we were making $1,500 a month when I was doing photography for those couple months. So I was just getting further and further, and I'm just digging this financial hole. And he said, okay. He said, all right, I got a job for you. And in April of 2024, I went back to work for Equipment Auctions full time as outside sales, which just means it's a fancy way of saying I was traveling to military bases. At least once a month, but usually twice. This whole summer, I was gone for 3 or 4 days every other week. And so I'm missing out I'm not dragging my kids through it anymore. But now I'm not even getting them anymore. I don't even get to spend time with them anymore. I'm video chatting my kid every night. She hates being where she has to be because her dad is unable to help it all. And so I'm like, okay, all right, here, I tried this, you know, like what now, God, what now? And 3 weeks in a row, from like right before I stopped traveling, the last 3 weeks, Giselle got pinworms, then she got poison ivy, then Isabel was re-hospitalized, and after that hospitalization, you know, what really matters after your child's health? Like, what comes before that? So that was such a moment for me of humility of like, what does the money matter? The money doesn't matter back to time. Okay, what can I not buy? I cannot buy more time. And so I'm putting in this hustle, and I at that point I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew I had to do something, and God yet again showed up and was like, this is what we're going to do. You're going to go to your boss and tell him that you're going to resign from this position, that you can't do it anymore, that you have to be home for your kids. I did that. I went to my boss, and I think there was a lot of emotions linked to that when I had that conversation with him. So I'll be honest, I thought I was going to get fired after I had this conversation with my friend. I was like, oh, I'm telling him that I can't do it anymore. So is this a quit or is this a fire? And I come into work 3 days later, and I was offered a salary full-time position where I could be home every night with my girls. So fast forward, because this has all happened in the last couple months. Yeah. All right, so I'm trying to rush you guys, but that's 31 years and 10 minutes. That was good. It's my birthday. So I get this new job, right? That was in the beginning of October. Within a week, we're told that our landlord wants us out. So I haven't even got my first paycheck yet. And she wants us out. So, okay. So I tell Jazzy, this is what we're going to do, baby. We're going to go where we're needed. And we went and I spoke with my grandparents who have always given me life. And they said, no, come home. Come home. And so I am living with them now. I am helping where my muscles are needed, where my heart is needed, and where I am. This is my purpose. This is where I'm supposed to be. So my picture, I painted it.
Yes.
I didn't buy it on the store. I didn't get it from somebody else. I didn't see it anywhere else. This is what I have drawn for myself at this point based on what God has told me that that's meant for me. And so I am 31 years old and I live with my grandparents again, and I love every minute of it. I get to be with the people that have had me since I was a child and have been there for me since I was a child, and I can be of use and purpose in their life, and I get to be there for my kids. And those are things that money can't buy. And it took all of that pain and the tears and the sadness to really just have that gratitude and have that humility and to be able to say thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. You know, like, thank you to my old boss. Thank you to my tribe. Thank you to my kids, and thank you to my grandparents, because I would not be the woman I am today without any of these people. And so my heart is full of gratitude, you guys. Thank you for sharing my special day of life with you. And I cannot wait to hear the other speakers on gratitude and love, because that's what we all with AYPN are about. Yes. And I always love coming up here and sharing the stage with you amazing people. So thank you for having me. Love you guys.
Happy birthday.
A lot of wisdom in those short amount of years, it sounds like. Sometimes life moves so fast in some of our lives that you feel like you've lived multiple lifetimes in just a short amount of time. And that is the kind of community that we attract in Activate Your Power Now, is the people who have gone through some stuff, but they don't surrender to those things, right? They activate, they hear that voice, that something bigger within them in life, and they don't just hear it, they answer the call. And sometimes it's just as simple as sharing your story. We know that what Abigail just shared with you, right? Her practice of understanding with her mom and that willingness to be present always and stand firm knowing there's something better. She's not going to succumb to her experiences. And we're so grateful for her sharing that story, because we know somebody listening is being positively affected by knowing someone else in life is experiencing something similar to what they have experienced. So that was, thank you, Abigail.
Yeah, thank you, Abigail. I know you mentioned how life didn't go the way you pictured it in the beginning, but gratitude to me, and it came to me this morning, it's like making do with what you have, regardless of how you think it should be. And also learning how to trust, not only in yourself, that's the main lesson, but sometimes in order to trust in ourselves fully and completely, we have to give our trust to somebody else, to a process, to a higher power, temporarily, until we're able to come back to who we are. So Abigail, your ability to trust in a higher power, trust in God, and also know that by trusting in God, you're trusting fully in yourself, trusting others to help hold you up during those times until you're able to see a clearer picture, see a clearer alignment with who you are, and to execute and to make do with what you have until you got to a point where you can paint a picture of your dreams. That's gratitude. So thank you.
Thank you.
And that being said, we'd like to bring up our next speaker. And this is a person who has been around for a couple of years as well. And she's a powerful, powerful speaker with a powerful message. She's a poet as well, and she has something to share with us. So let's give a warm round of applause for Amy Lee.
Hi, y'all. What you can't see, I'm thinking, in this frame is that I'm leaning on a chair. I'll tell you why in a minute. Gratitude is a big deal. It needs to be a way of life. And that's what I want to talk about. Because the world is full of silver linings. You just have to look for them. And if you don't see one, then you make one.
That's right.
And that's how I want to approach life. So I wanted to start with a poem I wrote about gratitude that's called Offering. And I'm going to scoot over just a little bit. It's called Offering. I come humbly, hands folded, eyes and heart raised, asking only to voice my praise for opportunities I can't yet see, and everything that life can be. Gratitude is my song, and living as love is where I belong. So why am I leaning on a chair, and why am I a little wobbly here and there? Well, I fell in a hole. It was a little hole. It had a big consequence, and it entirely changed my perspective. I was reminded once again of the importance of the shift. So my new motto is just keep shifting, shifting, shifting. Yeah, I hear some people who know that's about Dory, right? So what is a shift? It's an acronym. It's become kind of my way of life to framework making the small moves that make all the difference for us every day. So I'm going to go through each letter and tell you a little bit about them. So for the S, you want to do two things. You want to slow down and size up the situation. So you slow down, look around, take a deep breath, pause. We don't want to live our lives reacting, just reacting. Those knee-jerk reactions are what get me in trouble. If I'm going straight for my emotions, I'm liable to do something I will probably regret later. So slow down. Take that pause. And then size up the situation. What are the facts? What is the reality of what's going on? And what is the perspective you're putting on it? How do you respond instead of reacting? So that's the S. Slow down, size up. We move to the H. The H is my favorite, always, because for H, we're going to hold on to the positives. We're going to grab those silver linings. We're going to find it. We're going to make a silver lining if we need to, but we're going to hold on to the positives because there's always a positive. There's always something to be grateful for. Yes, I fell in a hole. Yes, I had to have surgery. I have learned that you don't have surgery within 2 weeks, but my doctor had me on the table in 2 weeks because I would have chickened out otherwise. And while I'm 2 weeks away from being cleared to hopefully go back to work, which I never thought I'd want to go back to work, but there it is. I would still be limping around. And instead I'm leaning on a chair. I'm still able to be here and do my talk. I drove to a friend's house, spent the night, and then drove here because I'm learning to respect my limits. But I'm holding on to the positives. I'm doing what I can do in the moment and seeing my silver linings. We move to the I, and the I is really simple. You want to investigate your options. You're here. This is the situation. These are the facts. This is how you want to respond. What are your options? What's your best option? What's the most positive thing you can do right now? So then you move to the F. You focus on what you want, how you want to respond, and then you follow through. So for your F, you're going to focus and then follow through. And the T is thanks. very simply, you want to be grateful. You want to framework your life in gratitude. So for things, you do 3 things. You're going to feel the gratitude. You're going to write the gratitude down because sometimes we forget that we have things to be grateful for. And you're going to share your gratitude. It can be simple. It can be smiling at the person who served your tea or your coffee. It can be a pat on the back to a friend. It can be a hug or a handshake. But whenever you feel gratitude, you need to share it. And you need to take note of these things. I have a little card with me that I doubt you would be able to see, but it's so much fun. I belong to a group that meets and we encourage each other. So my exercise for them is everybody got a card. It has your name. I bet this one says, "You, Amy, are a miracle." And we pass them around. And we each wrote something for every other person who had a card to show them why we're grateful for them. And these ladies are carrying these little cards in their purses, and I am too, to remind us that when we can't be grateful for ourselves, there are people who are grateful for us. And that's the most amazing thank you, feeling in the world. And that's why I want to live a life of silver linings. I want to walk in love and as love as much as I can. I want to be a little sunbeam, not a Pollyanna, but a positivity power. So I am Amy Lee. I am the relentless optimist. And I am grateful to be here today. Thank you all.
Amy, that was very powerful, and thank you for that. I forgot to remind everybody at the beginning of this to have your notebook out, have a pen out, have your phone out ready to take some notes, because again, like I said, our speakers, they're coming with some truths and they're coming with some action plans. They're sharing what they did to either find gratitude, maintain gratitude, share gratitude. And Amy, I just have to acknowledge, I'm sure all of you will acknowledge with me, just the growth in who you are, because you continue to be willing to shift. And not only are you willing to shift and follow all those steps, which I'm going to go back through real quick, but you're encouraging others. You're showing up even when you knew, when shift was that word that came to you and you knew it was yours to share, you didn't fully understand how, why, when, or where, but you did it. You answered the call. And that's a consistent thing you're going to hear about with our activators. They answered the call. And now helping many other people shift into their truth, shift into activating their story, shift into being the creator of the silver lining when you can't find it in life. So thank you again. If you want to say something, I want to share these again. Give everybody time to grab that paper and that pen, and I'm going to go through that shift one more time for you guys.
Yes, thank you, Amy, for being an embodiment of when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And really an embodiment of the acronym of shifting, of being here right now and being a shifter, not only in your lives, but others' lives as well. It's so powerful and so needed right now. So thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Okay, so before we call our next speaker, we want to go through shift. S, slow down and size up the situation. The note I took with that was like, what is really going on, right? Start finding out what's really happening in that moment. H, hold on to the positives. My side note was that it's the power of choice. It's ours to do if we choose to, right? I, investigate your options. Again, expanding beyond the box you have lived in, the feelings that you have lived in for so long. So thank you. F, focus on what you want and then follow through. So I love, love, love that. And then just thank you. Thanks. Like being willing to say thank you in life, even when maybe you have a list of things that if you went off that list, you have no reason to be thankful or grateful. But there's always that one thing if you choose to see, find, or be that silver lining to be grateful for. So thank you.
And for our next speaker, this is a man who knows how to hold on to the positive. Let's welcome to the stage, Coffee Cup Chuck.
Come on, Chuck.
First, I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up today, because this is your weekend and you can be doing so many other things besides being here with us. I want to thank Micah for the space, Sarah back there for those good drinks,
Yeah.
and Izzy and James. So, November is the month of gratitude. We spend a lot of time in November thanking and being thankful for the things that we've been able to give for ourselves. We're thankful for our families. We're thankful for our careers. We're thankful for even our materialistic things that we get and some of the accomplishments we've been able to overcome. Today, I'm going to do something a little different because I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for all of these things. And I have so many more days this month to express that. But today, on this stage, I'm going to take the time to show my gratitude towards two people. Two people, and I know you all know who these people are. Izzy and James.
Yeah.
I want to say that I am grateful for you and you. And to show my gratefulness today, I'm going to list those grateful attributes, and I'm going to use an acronym to do it. I'm going to use the word thank you to express this. So we're going to start off with the letter T. The T in thank you is for time. James, Izzy, for all of those seconds and minutes and hours and days and weeks, months and years that you put into building this platform.
Yeah.
Activate your power now. We're all here because of you guys. And it took time, it took sacrifice, it took planning, and a whole bunch of organizing to bring something like this community together. Man, I thank you both for that. Thank you. The H is for heart. Heart. Because that's what it takes to go through the trials and tribulations that you both went through to make sure that we're all here today. Because of your heart, you've been able to contribute to the communities around you and help the people become better at being themselves. And I thank you for that. The A is for appreciation. Man, every time I've come to an Activate Your Power Now event, you guys have been so appreciative of just me showing up. You give me these warm welcomes, and you do it for every single one of us. And it's crazy because for giving so much appreciation for just me showing up without me even being able to show you the appreciation back first for even having the event, that's enough for me to appreciate you. And I want you both to know that I'm thankful for that. The N in thank you is for nurturing. You too have took your thoughts and dreams and passions and you've put them in a position to where you can help other people grow. And man, that's powerful when you take your time, your experiences in your life, and you put them towards others to help build not just yourselves, but other people. That's powerful, man. And I thank you both for it. For all these years, I thank y'all for that. because I wouldn't be on the stage right now speaking if it wasn't for you two. Man, I thank you. The K in thank you, it stands for kindness. Man, thank you for putting your kindness into this world. Thank you, because of your kindness, you've helped other people understand the truth behind being kind. So don't ever stop doing what you both are doing, because in this world, we need a little more kindness. And you know, when you take that stone and you throw that stone of kindness out there in the middle of that water, it creates ripples. And those ripples, y'all, they can go places where you can't even see. The Y in thank you stands for you, and it stands for you. For being you, for showing up each and every time as your authentic selves. You see, when you show up, Izzy, when you show up as Izzy, when you show up as James, what you both do is you teach other people how to activate themselves and become who they really are and really embrace who they are. There's nothing wrong with being yourselves. And because of you two, you help other people remember that. Thank you for that. The O in thank you stands for optimism. Woo! I am Coffee Cup Chuck. And when I say stay positive, you say
Oh.
I'm positive, and everyone knows that. But guess what? There's got to be someone out there that helps remind that person who's positive all the time to remain positive all the time. And I remember an incident where I almost lost my cat in the back seat of a car last year at a conference. And you reminded me of that. You reminded me to be optimistic about the situation. And James, I remember, man, I was broke down and I didn't have a positive bone left in me, I thought. And you invited me to a men's group. And man, what a spark that gave me. Thank y'all. And the U and thank you stands for the very meaning why we are here today. It stands for unity. Because of Activate Your Power Now, because of something you created and you both endured for God knows how many years now, we are here together today as one. What a beautiful community it is to be in the Activate Your Power Now community. I love it here. And it seems like everyone that joins loves it too. So in saying all this, these letters, they represent why I'm grateful for you, James. Why I'm grateful for you, Izzy. Because of your time. Because of your heart. Because of your appreciation and your nurturing and your kindness. Because of you being who you are, being positive, and bringing us all together today under the Activate Your Power Now community. I thank you. I thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
simple.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love giving out kudos and compliments, but man, receiving them, I'm still practicing that. Thank you so much, Chuck. That really was, you really embodied what Activate Your Power Now, what we strive to be, what we work consistently on purpose every day to show up to be the person, again, like Abigail said, see that vision of who you want to be and then be willing to take the steps to be that person, but also be willing to shift when life calls you to shift. I thank you for always showing up as Mr. Positive with your Coffee Cup Chuck recordings in the mornings. That keeps me and a lot of other people also in that alignment of gratitude and being positive. So thank you, and thank you for all of the kind words. We are about unity. We cannot do this on our own, and it takes everyone who continues to show up month after month, year after year, to be able to do what we're doing. Because before I had people who could actually see me showing up as me, and then not just see me, but actually believe in me. That is the only way that I could be here and be a part of Activate Your Power Now as well, because that's what I was missing in life. My brain told me I was great and wonderful, so I always showed up like I was, but I was not always received in that way. So thank you, all of you, for seeing me, believing in me, correcting me when I need correcting, and just showing me ways to continue to be on the path of being activated and being true to myself. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Chuck.
And thank you, Chuck. I'm in the same boat with Izzy, not used to receiving compliments, so I receive it with open arms. How I see you and how I always see you is a man who is consistent with how he shows up in your demeanor, in your disposition, and how that love is so deeply founded in you, and how I see the passion and how you come and you really want to extend your heart to somebody else, and knowing your background and knowing where you come from. I understand that's so powerful. Like what was said earlier, sometimes we need somebody to hold that mantle for us as a transitional step until we can hold it for ourselves. So I see you as that person doing that for a lot of people, helping people stay positive in their lives and to remind themselves of who they are. So thank you, Chuck.
Hey, before you guys say anything else, can we all give them a warm round of applause?
Yes, please.
Our next speaker, somebody you know well. He's a warrior. He's helped awaken the warrior spirit in many people. Got a lot of feedback of people just saying how impacted they have been by him, his testimonies, his sharings. And more than them being awakened to the warrior within them, they have been awoken to their name and the meaning behind their name. So we give lots of gratitude to our next speaker, Gary Newsom, or Coach G.
Coach G.
Welcome, your boy Coach G here. Man, I got so much to say today, and just hearing my brothers and sisters. I love what is being done here. At the end, I want to definitely say some things about James and Izzy as well, but I want to take you on a journey today. So I had to write some of this down because I'll get emotional, as I always do, and forget some things. So today I want to talk about a journey we've discussed all this year, pieces to peace. In various ways, and we all know too well the journey of transitioning from pieces to peace. Life, in its unpredictable nature, can shatter us into fragments, leaving us to navigate a landscape of confusion, pain, and heartache. But amidst this chaos, there is a powerful perspective that can guide us towards healing. And that's what I want to talk about today. That perspective is simply thank you. It's that simple. So I stand here today as your boy, Coach G, but also as a warrior that was broken. 18 through 21, 22 was probably the worst 4 years of my life, which I've dubbed the journey of a warrior. Everybody in this room probably knows that story. For some of you, I'll give you a Cliff Notes version. So 34-year marriage ended. Tragically, painfully. Both my parents died within about a year and a half of each other. And if anybody knows anything about me and my parents, especially my mother, that was my rock. So the core of Gary is now gone. The one person on this planet that knew me, that understood me, that saw me, I could just sit at her feet in silence. And it's like she was speaking to me. Just the power of her aura, but now gone. So now what do I do? 2 successful 6-figure businesses gone within about 3 to 4 months of each other. 3 of my spiritual sons, young men who were very near and dear to my heart, murdered here in Kansas City through gun violence. One, the last, actually died in my arms. So I had to deal with the guilt and the shame of why does this 21 or 25-year-old have to go away and I get to live, amidst a bunch of other things. But I stand here today as a man that is so thankful, so grateful. I mean, the story I just talked about, that could have been me. You know, we could have been mourning Gary today, but I'm standing here because the Lord said not so, and there was more life to go. There's so many things, and as my next point that I was going to talk about, we find ourselves feeling broken. It's easy to dwell on the negatives, to focus on what we've lost or what we lack. And that's what I spent 3 years doing, focusing on all the things that I had lost, the lack. But in this last year, 23 has been a year of healing for me. A year of healing and rest. And then I'd say 23 was a year of healing. But 24 has been a year of rebuild. So the warrior was knocked down for 4 years. The warrior took a year off to heal. But the warrior has grown in 2024. If I just went into, and I don't have time today to talk about all the measures of things that God has done in my life over this 12 months. And why I'm going to get emotional is not about what I'm saying. It's because I love the people in this room. And there's not words that I can articulate today. There aren't words created that I can articulate to the people in this room today of what they mean to me. Because on the course of the journey of a warrior, without these people in the room, I'm not here. Mm-hmm. There was a time that Gary, the warrior, your boy, Coach G, stands before you, not in his right mind. I know Izzy and James remember that the first couple of times I got up here. And I couldn't finish the speech because I was in too much pain. The trauma was too near and dear to my heart. But now I've had time to grow, to heal, to reflect. And now I can go back to those sad and dark spaces. The darkness, I'm not afraid of anymore. There's no fear in the darkness. I've learned that there's lessons to be learned in the darkness that you can only learn in the darkness. I've learned that there's jewels along the pathway, jewels along the journey, that now I can go, oh man, there's a diamond. Oh, there's a ruby. Oh, there's peace. Oh, there's abundance. There's happiness. I've learned to slow down, walk in peace, follow the order of the Lord, and just wait for his alignment. And as I've done that I got to touch on that word because that's been my word for 24. Alignment. Alignment. If you're going to be thankful, you got to focus on alignment in your life. Figure out, I've had to push some people away. I've had to add some people. I had to stop doing some duties and responsibilities and add some. Every area of my life, I would say right now, is aligned more so than it's ever been. I miss these people in this room because I used to spend so much time with them, and I haven't recently, and I'm going to apologize, even though they're going to fuss at me for doing it, but I'm going to do it anyway. But I have been building. Mm-hmm. Your boy, Coach G, I have been building and building and building. And because of that growth and immaturity, I've stepped into a space of peace and alignment that I've never witnessed or bared before. It's almost as if, I don't know, I've heard several messages about doors, and the last door is the automatic door that, you know, when you go to the mall or you go to the grocery store and you get a few feet in front of that door and it just opens. That's the space I'm literally in right now. That as I walk, as I turn to my left, oh my God, yes, there's a door. Yes. As I turn to my right, oh my God, there's a door. Look, there's a door right in front of me because I'm coming into your homes right now and ministering to your hearts and your minds. I am so grateful and I'm so thankful for that now. It is literally blowing my mind. I mean, the doors and the opportunities that have come. Timing is another word that I'm thankful for, because there's things that I tried to do along that journey that I just wasn't the right time. You know, businesses. I remember telling Izzy and Dave when I was studying, you remember, for my insurance, and I would just sit and look at the screen and read a sentence and read a sentence and read a sentence and have no idea what it would say, because my mind was still gone. I was still dealing with the pain and the trauma. Not to say that because of COVID and trauma that I still don't struggle with some of that. That's why I write. But as I say that, I'm thankful that I write.
Yes.
One of my jewels of the journey, I was just talking to Evie about before speaking. This is something that now I get to pour my heart out, that I would have laughed at people. Oh, you a writer? You write that? Okay. But now, yeah, I'm a writer.
Yes.
I'm a writer. Not only am I a writer, I'm writing curriculum called Warrior Word Curriculum.
Yes.
Yeah, that I'm going to be teaching a series on, filming it, putting it on my website, and bringing in subscriptions for it. I'll be teaching it live. So I'm so excited and so thankful for all the different things that have opened up in my life. But this is where I have to pause, because none of that happens without these people in this room. None of that happens without the people in these rooms. And some of the people that are missing. Mighty man of God, business owner, well-known in this city, and all the people that I thought would have my back. All my brothers and sisters in Christ that I thought would have my back. All I saw was their back.
Wow.
This is not an indictment against them or the church or people. Just, it is what it is. Okay? And I just learned to accept that. But in that growth and maturation, I've learned that there's seasons. And there's, I'm thankful for the seasons that people came and people have gone. And new people have come that added a more and deeper, more intense richness to my life. And I'm so thankful, so grateful. Again, I don't have words. There's not a capacity in me to express the thanks and the gratitude, as my brother just so eloquently did. I mean, I could talk for hours about you. About what you two have done for me. Story after story where I didn't want to continue. I didn't want to fight. Same thing. I wanted to quit. And I didn't have all the time with you, but every time you showed up, that's why I was so thankful. That was strategic. You didn't make me go behind because I would have been a wreck. But I'm not standing here today without you guys. I'm not. And I know that. I know that. You wouldn't let me quit. You wouldn't let me give up. You literally saw me when I talked about my mom. So now it's not just one person, it's several people that see me, that get me, that understand me, where a place I can come and be safe. If there's a place that you need to come to be safe, this is the place.
Come on.
Right here. Right now. You should have been here. I
Yeah.
mean, real talk. You should have been here. We've been advertising that. You should have been here. But anyway, so alignment. I've been in relationships. I've done different types of businesses. I've had an up and down weight journey, lost 100 pounds, gained 30 of it back. So working on knocking that back down. But I got to say one more thanks. Well, a couple more. I've talked for months about Kingdom Wife. And I encountered a woman in June. And she couldn't be here today. But she's watching. I know. But when you want to talk about alignment, you want to talk about peace, you want to talk about agape love, I've never experienced that. And the people in the room haven't met her yet, but you will. that she's literally blown my mind. And since encountering her, I feel like she was that final piece, all the broken pieces that brought me peace. Sometimes it's just one thing, one person that brings all those shattered, broken pieces. It reminds me of a song, October 18th, and you're talking about being transparent right now. October 18th, or October 4th, 2018. The warrior sat on his knees in his living room with a 9mm in his mouth, ready to take his life. But God, the TV came on. Over my mantle in my living room hung a TV. The TV came on, and none of you are going to believe me, but I don't care. The TV came on. Not only did the TV come on, it came on to a gospel station where a group called Worship Mob played a song, started to sing a song that was called Defender. And within that song, it talks about how that man or that person was broken into a million pieces. And even if they tried to gather all the pieces back together to regain their peace, there'd be no way they'd be able to do it. I think about your story, Abigail. But she was able to, she wasn't, Chuck wasn't, Amy wasn't, I wasn't, but because he loves us so much, he gathered all those pieces back together. And not only put us back together, but put us back together better than when we were broken.
Stronger.
Stronger.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Warrior.
Yeah. So, and then obviously, last but not least, and just Kingdom Wife. You guys will see that when you meet her. I gotta thank Abba because he's strategic in all the things that he's done. And I used to say, woe is me, why me? You know, done all this stuff. I've served, I've given money, I've done time, all these different things. Why me? But now I stand here as the warrior, and why not me?
Yeah. Amen.
Why not me? I've learned the value. Thank you. I'm thankful for the value of too much is given, much is required. So I look that in the face every day as I do mirror work. My sister taught me well. That too much is given, much is required. And I'm thankful that I have been chosen. Because I have been chosen, I have been given much. And because I've been given much, much is required of me. And I no longer run from that. I run to that. I run into that. So I just stand here today as a man with a full heart the moment I walked in this room and I saw my family, my familia, that I haven't seen in a while because I've been out. But I promise you, your boy has been building and building and building. So I give thanks to everybody in this room. I give thanks to my kingdom queen, my kingdom wife. I give thanks to Abba, and I give thanks to my family. This has been your boy, Coach G.
Warrior indeed. Thank you so much, Gary, for that message. And, you know, just he mentioned so much, but one of the things he mentioned of when he wanted to give up and we stepped in and we wouldn't let him. So I just want to hand that power right back to him because it wasn't about letting him or not letting him, right? He wasn't waiting on my permission. It was on the intentional practice that all of you helped, I know with me be, to just be able to see my light, see my purpose, stay in my alignment. And because I have on purpose been practicing that, when I was in front of Gary during those times, he was able to just reflect his truth off of me. So it had nothing to do with me and it had everything to do with you. So thank you for continuing to be a warrior. Thank you for continuing to push through. That was a lot of heartache in a short amount of time. And I know it probably felt like 3 years, 3 very long years. That was actually a very short time in the big scheme of things. So congratulations on continuing to choose to be the warrior and coming and serving in all of the ways that you do. this is just one part. So thank you for being you, and thank you for being a part of Activate Your Power Now.
Thank you.
Coach G, my man, thank you for showing up. Simple as that. Thank you for shifting and being able to trust in your ability to know when to shift out of spaces that no longer serve and into spaces that fill you up and that edify you, your soul and your spirit, trusting in the Lord in those moments when it was tough and rough, and also trusting in the people around you to lift you up when needed. So once again, and coming on this stage and being with us for the last 3 years, and that's a little time. This a little blip, and the time frame that you've been alive and all the experiences you've been through. But being able to trust in us to help you through those times, like you said, is there's no words that can be put to it. So thank you, Gary.
Yeah.
We appreciate you and we love you.
We love y'all too.
And with that, that being
say
said,
something,
you wanna go ahead
I just have to say something. I'm not sure that I've ever said it on the platform. Our next speaker is not new to the platform. Her beautiful husband has also been a speaker at Activate Your Power Now. They're a power couple. She's here today without Jimmy. We miss Jimmy. We miss you, Jimmy. But I had the pleasure of meeting Jayma and Jimmy a couple years ago, and it had nothing to do with Activate Your Power Now. It actually was through my son Daniel, who a lot of you know, and he too has his own story of going through so much at such a young age as well. And praise God, he's activating his truth a lot younger than when I activated mine. But a big part of him activating that truth really didn't have much to do with me. I was always mom, right? So I was pretty, to him, I'm the best thing on earth, and thank you, Danny. But it was, I think Jayma brought that same nurturing to him, and he felt like he could trust her, and he did trust her and Jimmy. And they inspired him to go deeper into himself, to be able to live the dream that he was envisioning. And they weren't afraid to tell him where he was not in alignment with what his declarations, and then offering space for him to get into that alignment, offering a whole separate community outside of Activate Your Power Now. And I think when I asked you to be a part of Activate Your Power Now was when we met up at the courthouse. He had court one day, and the judge, I'm not even sure, I think they wanted to come support him. Jayma, Jimmy, and one of their friends, who's one of Danny's friends as well. And they showed up to the court. They drove an hour, I feel like, and were there and just wanted to be supportive, wanted him to know that they cared. And as his mom, I was like, wow. I mean, Danny has told me so much about her, and I felt it when I met her, but I'm like, it's that consistency, right? It's that willingness to put the proof to the pudding and say, I'm willing to show up. I'm not just willing to talk. And it just opened my eyes even more to what a beautiful person you are, Jayma. And we got to talk and have conversation there. And I was like, you're absolutely everything we are, especially at that time, because we were very new in Activate Your Power Now. I'm like, you represent what we are so striving to be in the community we're trying to create. And it was just natural, and also grateful when I was like, well, if you would like to, and she's like, tell me when and where. Absolutely. I want to meet more of these people, and I want to be a part of it. So very grateful just to have you in my life, my family's life, and for you saying yes to being a part of Activate Your Power Now. You've jumped in there when we've done our family events, and it's just about what needs done, what can I do, and how can I help. And I'm very, very, very grateful and thankful to have you a part of the Activate Your Power Now community. Thank you.
Come on up.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, that's so cute. Thank you.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, wow. That brought a lot of emotion up for me.
Thank you. Thank you for thanking me. Yeah, I received that love. And thank you for being, both you and James, for being space holders for for a ripple effect of people to come into alignment, to activate their power, and to also share that shine. As we are catalysts here, you know, we get to move and inspire other people to come into their alignment as well, and to activate their power. And so the ripple effects that you two have created, you will never know until after you cross over and your angels regroup with you in the light, and you're going to see the millions of people that you have impacted by coming together and creating this space. So thank you so much. Thank you. Ooh, we've got full body chills.
Me too.
And before I get started, I just want to say thank you to Abigail for being a powerful, amazing mother, and for persevering, and for knowing thyself into thy own self be true. Thank you. And I want to thank Amy and God, that God didn't cause her to fall in a bigger hole. that could have killed her, you know. Like, thank God it was a small hole with a big catalyst of self-realization. So thank you for being willing to turn within when the self turns towards the self. That's enlightenment. Yeah. So thank you for being in self-realization. Chuck. I want to thank you for being consistently positive. Every time I interact with you, you have a glow, a warmth, you have medicine to share. You have spiritual medicine to share. And you have been consistent with that. So thank you for who you are in the world, and for the message that you share, the medicine that you share with so many people. Thank you. Brother Gary, I wanna thank your angels for turning on the TV.
Yes.
Okay. I want to thank your guidance for turning on the TV and showing you the gospel that you needed to hear. I want to thank your higher self for whispering to you, stay. I want to thank your lower self for accepting. And Evie, I just want to thank you in advance. I want to thank you in advance, Evie, because I know you were going to wrap it up with some powerful juju. So thank you. Okay. So I'll be brief here, because there's been so much momentum and so much God. That's what I love about the speakers with AYPN, is that there's so much God-centered focus in our messages here. Yeah. And I'm a non-denominational interfaith minister. I'm the president of my grandmother's church, New Horizons. She crossed over about 6-7 years ago and passed on her church, which she created about 45 years ago. She created a church 45 years ago at a time where women weren't ministers, right? And she was going to change that. Yeah. So it's open to both men and women, but it was specifically to allow a space for any woman with any walk of faith to become a minister. Yeah. And so we have ministers of all different religions. The majority are non-denominational, just like me. Someone asked me recently, what's your religion? And I said, well, I have the same religion as Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Now think about that for a minute, right? Right? Because Yeshua didn't really have a religion. You know what I mean, right? He was just the way, right? I am the way, and was showing how to come into alignment with that Christ-like energy. He said, everything I'm doing, you can do even better. He was showing us how to move that Christ energy through healing hands, right? His biggest principle was to love thy neighbor as thyself. Thank you. It's that simple. Okay, right?
Yes.
So my religion, whatever religion Jesus was, that's my religion, right? That's my religion. So, thank you. That's simple. It's that simple. So, quick story. When I was on my 3rd national book tour, and my book is called Break Through Your Threshold, a manual for faith-based manifestation and co-creating with God. Thank you, God, for giving me that book, okay? That was a channeled workshop that came through one day, and I started teaching that, and then I created the book, and then I moved me and my 3 cats into a camper, and off we went throughout the U.S. on book tours. So I was on my 3rd national book tour at a place called the Light Center here in Baldwin City. Okay, the Light Center where I met Isabel's son Danny, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Danny. I love Danny. So so I was on my 3rd national book tour. I was sitting in my camper, and I had all this stress come up, like all this, you know, I need this, and I'm lacking this, and I'm having this challenge, and I'm having this problem. And I found myself, because I'm a big prayer advocate, like truly prayer is my biggest weapon. You know what I mean? It's my biggest tool, it's my biggest weapon. And I fight the enemy with that. I truly do. So I start every day with prayer. And I'm sitting down in prayer, and all of a sudden it hit me that I kept on coming to God with my honey-do list.
Yeah.
Every day I was sitting down, God, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this, and remember to do this, and fix this, and hurry up with that, please. You know what I mean, right? Every day I was coming with challenges and stresses and things of that nature. And it hit me that I hadn't said thank you. It hit me that I hadn't said thank you. And I stopped for a minute. I said, okay, I'll get to that in a minute, God, right? What am I grateful for? And I had to dig deep because I was in a cloud of mental misery.
Yes.
Yeah? Stuck in my so-called problems, my so-called illusions, my so-called lack, right? And I had to dig deep. I had to, what are the simple things? Thank you for my cats. Thank you for my camper. Thank you for the Light Center I get to park at. Thank you for this. And it's not just about saying thank you. It's about feeling the gratitude. Feeling it. And it is okay if we start saying our thank you list and we don't feel it yet. That's okay. Keep on saying it. Keep on saying it. Fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. Pretend as if it's so. All of a sudden, the energy of genuine gratitude started to move through my being. And I started to vibrate. Talk about alignment. I felt the anointment wash over me. I was like, Wharr! All of a sudden, I reached a point to where I was vibrating in so much gratitude, so many tears of joy. I forgot what my problems were. I forgot what my problem was. I really did. What problem? I really did. I was vibrating so high, and then I was like, what the hell did I come to God for? You know? Like, what was...
Thanks.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Thank you. It's that simple, right? And I was dumbfounded because I literally searched in my mind to remember what the problem was, and I could not find it. I could not find it. And I realized that day I had a key to something real, something that we all have access to, and that's saying thank you. It's that simple. It's that simple. And if we're willing to practice that gratitude, if we start our days in gratitude, y'all, end our days in gratitude before you go to sleep at night, okay? You'll have better dreams that way too, by the way, right? Start your day with gratitude. Watch what happens. Your life changes. So I started doing this every single day. And I'm telling you, my life completely changed. Now I've got a serious question to ask you guys. How many of you guys brush your teeth every day?
Every day.
Some are like, oh, better raise my hand. Every day. Now, true question here. Why do you brush your teeth every day? Why? Taught, told you. Hygiene. Feels better. No, really. Why do we brush your teeth? Why even bother? Better breath. Take care of our mouth, right? We don't want our teeth to decay. That's why, otherwise we would not do that, guys. We would not do that habit every day, you know, because the payoff is we don't want our teeth to decay, right? That's so simple, so simple. So that's physical decay. We do physical activities every day so their teeth don't decay. Now I'm going to talk about spiritual decay, okay? Why are we not doing daily spiritual activities so our spirit doesn't decay, y'all? Okay? The daily activity of gratitude, of prayer, to be able to say thank you, to be able to acknowledge someone with kindness, to do that daily so your soul does not decay. That's why we do this.
Preach.
That's why we do this. Thank you is that simple. Thank you is that simple. So when I finally moved from the Light Center to Colorado on this tour, I hit a moment of stress again. And so I accessed that power of gratitude. Thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. I'd had just enough money to get to Colorado, but I didn't have any workshops on the books. I was parked in a friend's driveway. Thank you, God, for that. But I had no money, and I was stuck in Colorado with no workshops on the books. So I started praying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And my guidance came in. I talked to my angels, okay? Like, I believe in the TVs being turned on, okay? That's called our guidance right there. Our angels are real people, okay? They're real. So I'm talking to my guidance. I'm like, thank you, God, thank you. And they came in, they said, you know what, J-Mom? They said, you've got 50% of it down for manifestation, okay? Pure manifestation. You've got half of it down, and that's thank you to God. Now, can you say thank you to yourself? Can you love and appreciate yourself just as much as you love God? Can you mean it? Can you give yourself true gratitude? And if you can do that, if you can measure your love for God with your love for yourself, the way that God loves you, watch out. You're going to manifest like a genie. And I was like, okay. So it was harder. It was harder for me to say thank you to me. It was easy to say thank you to God. Okay, blessed all the glory be to God. But when it comes to me, I had some blocks there. And again, fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. And then I started to feel that true, genuine love and appreciation. And this is not cockiness, you guys. This is not arrogance. This is respecting God. When you love yourself, you respect God. When you don't love yourself, you disrespect God because God created you. And when I built up that feeling of true gratitude for myself, my core just opened up. All of a sudden, people were calling, workshops were getting booked, upward spiral just like that. Everything expanded. So that's the two parts of thank you. Is that simple that I want to leave you with today. And let me just say too, my husband who is unable to be here today because he's in a tournament. Thank you, God, that he wins and wins lots of money. Anyway, just putting that out there. Thank you, God. Say thank you, God, in advance that he wins lots of money. Anyway. I already said my prayer. I was like, thank you that he has fun. I want him to have the time of his life and love what he does. So, but when my husband gets down, okay, when he gets stressed out, when he starts to pick himself apart, I'll stop him and I'll be like, Sunshine, because that's my nickname for him. Sunshine, what are 5 things that you're grateful for? And he'll name them. And he'll be like, oh, because he knows that this is a practice that we do in our marriage. And he'll name them. I'm like, great. Now, what are 5 things that you're grateful for yourself? And it's always harder for him to do it. But he'll do it. And he feels better. Feels better every time. This is something you can do in partnership. And this is what I want to leave you with, okay? To implement this is like an exciting homework assignment, right? I suggest having a gratitude buddy, a thank you friend. So one of my best friends named LaShawn, she lives in Atlanta. She was one of my bridesmaids in my wedding, and she was my gratitude, and still is, my gratitude partner. And for over a year and a half on a daily basis, LaShawn and I would send voice notes through WhatsApp saying nothing but our gratitude list, okay? I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for this. And then we implemented the I love and appreciate myself because of this, I love and appreciate myself because of this. And that's what we did straight up for a year and a half, consistently every single day. And I'm telling you, it will change your life if you grab a gratitude buddy. And that's all you need. You just ask them, all we need to do is just send a quick message of what we're grateful for. Watch what happens. It's a very easy way to implement the power of thank you. It truly is that simple.
Thank you, J-Ma. That was a great session. Again, a lot of information, stuff that you can write down, practices. These are intentional practices. And it's just a daily, hi guys. It's a daily devotion of just a practice. We'll never perfect it, right? Because life is not going to be perfect, but we can dedicate to a practice. And I had to do the exact same thing. The steps she just mentioned was how I came into intentional living. It was finding what I'm grateful for every single day and listing it, declaring it. I didn't have my buddy, but I'm going to find a gratitude buddy and I'm going to start that process because it holds so much power. I would have to, again, find what I was grateful for within myself, what I liked. And it was a journal that I followed. And I had to name things that I was giving thanks for myself. And it was very hard at the beginning. As I steadily practiced it, it got easier because I started believing it. Like you said, you fake it till you make it. I started feeling that it was true. And when I started feeling that it was true, then I could step confidently out into the world in that way. And then all of a sudden I'm being received in that way. Why? Because I believed it. So other people were believing it as well. They were seeing it. So thank you. I hope you wrote those steps down. If not, we will, you can watch the replay, because those practices of gratitude and the daily giving thanks, the prayer, I had same exact thing that God was speaking into me about prayer, and prayer is giving thanks, giving gratitude and praise. And I had to shift my life to where it started off by declaring the morning in the evening. But then God, once I started getting that practice down, he wanted me to see where it was so, and that's what's going to be awakened within you when you practice. That is so, now all of a sudden you're living a life of gratitude. It's with every breath. And your work, your chores, your responsibilities are just the other things in life. But the actual living is living in that gratitude, that truth, that love for creation, and knowing that you're a beautiful part of it on purpose. Thank you so much.
That's it. J-Ma, what tournament is Jenny participating in right now?
It's an online One Piece tournament.
Online
He
One
plays trading
Piece.
card games. He's really good at it.
Okay. See, that's one of those things where I'm sure if he does win, there's a lot more gratitude that comes along with that because of the work that's put in to achieve that level of comprehension and confidence. I know you said it's one thing to say thank you, but it's another to feel it. And that's one thing I always ask myself is like, if we can, it's like we do these things in order to feel gratitude. And if we can just feel gratitude about having to do those things, like it's like paradoxical, right? So how do we really feel gratitude? And like for me, it's through repetition, right? And actually doing the work. And in the beginning, it's hard because, especially when we're, finding things to be grateful for ourselves, because we enter this space without consciously being aware of the work that's been done in terms of shadow work or the healing work. But as we start that path and we realize our own worth, then it becomes a lot easier for us to see and be grateful for those qualities in ourselves because of the work that's being built, the momentum that's being built. So that's how I see and feel gratitude is I look back and I see I'm being grateful to my body every single day by putting the right things into it. I'm being grateful for my spirit by doing those exercises and being open-hearted for the people around me the best way I can in that moment. Grateful for my mind for studying what I like to do, my interests, right? Those small things that you do every single day or on a daily basis, that's the momentum that's being built over time that allows you to tap into that feeling of self-worth and gratitude for those qualities within yourself and other people as well. Because once you see it in yourselves, it becomes a lot easier to see it in others. So thank you for coming up and sharing your bits and pieces of what gratitude means to you and how it has impacted your life and others.
Sure, I always love introducing our next speaker, and you've probably figured out a pattern. I don't know, is she always last? I don't know. Why, Evie? Why are you always last? I know why, because she comes, she takes everything that you've just heard, she wraps it up into a nice message that's very powerful, helps you awaken to yourself, to the queen within you or the king. She is the healer of queens. She is the healer of queens because she has awoken to her truth that she is a queen. with a huge purpose in this life, and we're so grateful that she's a part of Activate Your Power Now. She comes and she shares all this wisdom, these tools. She has a lot of degrees and certifications, but it's because her eagerness to learn on how to awaken herself and help make that space for other people just keeps growing and growing. And she brings so much to the table. We're thankful for her, and I can't wait to hear what she has to say about gratitude this year, because you've heard her the last 2 years on gratitude. Go watch the replays. But it's thank you. It's that simple. She's going to go ahead and close us out. So show a lot of love to Evie, the healer of queens.
All right, Evie.
Oh my God. Okay, I am so thankful. I just want everybody to take a minute and just sit in the thankful. I mean, just sit in the thankful. I have fought hard this week to get in this room, and I just want to sit in the thankful for a minute. Oh, thank you. We've been talking so much today, and I just wanted to recap. I had to take notes, y'all. Y'all had me going today. When Abigail came up and talked about the transparency of thankfulness, and then Amy got up and talked about gratitude expressed out loud, showing other people that you're grateful for them. And Chuck came up and said, I want to rebuild the thankfulness. I want you to show the thankfulness I see in you. And I can show it because I was able to be thankful for me because I saw the thankfulness in you. That was amazing to me. And then when Gary got up and he was talking about rebuilding and how he had to go all the way to his lowest level of no more thankfulness left to see how thankful he was in that moment. My God. And then for J-Ma to get up here, girl, look here, okay? Not only did God give me prayer changes things, but stand in the message I sent you. That is what I heard when you were speaking. Stand in the message I sent you. And when you stand in the message that God sent you, that message is delivered because he sent you to do it. Send me, I'll go. That's what I heard with you, Jay. Send me, I'll go. And I love that. Today I'm not feeling too good. I woke up a little under the weather, and I talked myself into every reason not to be in front of this screen. And then I remembered I had made a promise. And those who know me know I never break a promise. I told my kids, you guys can put that on my tombstone. Here lies the one that never broke a promise. But the scripture that came to me was Psalms 4 and 6. But actually, I didn't want to go with that. I wanted to go with Philippians 4 and 6. It says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. I wanted to talk about being thankful for my been through. I'm thankful for my been through. This week, I lost somebody, and I kept a promise. Bear with me, y'all. Fentanyl is a hell of a drug. I work day in and day out with women that are rebuilding from lack. They didn't have it coming in the door, and we got to try and figure out where it was. And when people say to you that everything you'll ever need is inside you, it's hard when you only know the holes of things that are missing. When you deal with people with addiction, they can guarantee the holes for you. They know when something happened, when something was taken away. They know when they lost it. They know the date, but they cannot find because they're still searching for the missing. And so it's hard to believe that it's in you if you surface from the missing. And then I come in and tell you, well, let's go look for what's missing, right? and that you're a queen and that you held a crown. And yes, I'm Evie, the healer of queens, and Gary points out kings too. I don't discriminate. I just want you to heal.
Yeah.
So when I'm standing, I'm talking to these women, I'm telling them about what I know they're capable of and the light I see inside them. One of the things I always refer to is the song that all of us know. I don't care what denomination you are. There is a version of This Little Light of Mine in your church as a kid at Sunday school. And we all sang it and then we forgot we had it. You walked around life assuming it was them. Why? You promised yourself as a child, this little light of mine, and you were going to let it shine, and then somebody came around with sprinkler systems and tried to put your light out. But you survived everything that was meant to destroy you, and you still think you're working from lack. How is that possible? The devil sent everything he could possibly do. Gary just told you about a moment where a gun was in my mouth. The devil had my hand on the trigger, and a light came on. A light. That's all it takes is a light. My client's light was put out this week. And fentanyl was the sprinkler system.
God says,
But I know where she's at. And I know she's probably in heaven and asked God which mansion was mine, and she's putting unicorn sprinkles in my driveway. In heaven, she's waiting on me, and I know it. All my clients that are up there are waiting on me. But I have an assignment. I'm thankful for the been through. See, I've never been through nothing. If you've never been through nothing, you don't believe nobody listening to you make a mistake. So you got to go through something to get through something, to be thankful for something. We forget that. The thankfulness comes with a trial. Everybody wants to be thankful. Everybody wants to be amazing. Everybody wants to say, I have all these wonderful things, but you never talk about the dark places where the only light you had was what you lit in you. Nobody wants to talk about the been through. See, you have to be through something for you to believe in something. I met God on the darkest journey of my life. You got to go through it. You got to come up from somewhere. You have to be thankful for the hurt. I'm thankful for the pain. And that probably sounds weird to everybody, but if I didn't know pain, then I wouldn't know joy. If I didn't understand why I hurt, I wouldn't understand why I needed to heal. If I didn't put my crown on first, I couldn't ask anybody else to pick theirs up. You see, I'd be faking the funk and pretending to be thankful when I couldn't have found any thankfulness in me because I decided that God was only tricking me. I was some kind of joke to him, and I was just a puppet in his own little game of foolishness. But I'm thankful for those days when I thought he forgot me. I'm thankful for the days when I had my own gun. I'm thankful for the days when I looked at my children and I thought they'd be better off without me. I remember those days. And now I can stand in a room of women every day at work and say, I know those days. I know the days when it almost looked like something outside of me was so much bigger than me and I couldn't win. I remember the days when thankful was a cuss word to me. I remember when God was a joke. I remember when I used to tell people that I was the devil's right-hand man. He lied to me and I lied to him and I thought our relationship was great. Ooh, I'm thankful. 11 years ago, I walked into a doctor's office. And they told me they found a tumor on my brain. And I had 2 years to live. That was 11 years ago. I remember having 32 pills a day to take, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I ate more pills than I ate food. And they told me I'd have to do this the rest of my life. And I saw a Facebook memory that came up, And it was a picture of all 32 pills, my prescriptions, and then a picture of a Bible I had posted. I said, this is what they told me I was going to be, and this is what I know.
Yes.
And I'm still here. I started preparing at that time for my children to grow up without me. I started thinking I got to do videos. I got to tell them how to be women. I got to figure this out. And then I started thinking, can't nobody teach them but me. I said, Lord, we're going to have to do something different. I ain't going to be able to go. I said, so I'm going to stand on what you told me. So I got into my Bible and I started reading Psalms and I started seeing it. And I fell in love with Psalms 51. And it's crazy because that's an apology. Psalms 51 is David's apology for his actions. See, I kept getting in God's way. I kept telling people, I'm the one to take care of it. I'm a single mom. I got this. I'm handling it. I don't need this. I don't need that. You know, the independent is so crazy because you get so independent, you thought you made you too.
Right. Right.
Only thing that was good about me is what God had already done in me. I can't pour from an empty cup, and who you think I'm getting it from? Your refill has to come from when you rebuild, and you have to be thankful for what you see, because if you don't see yourself, as in what Gary said about the mirror, I say, I have a group that I do, Mirror, Mirror, and we will release our demons into that mirror, but the funny part is the same thing that you're looking into is the same thing we got to put them into. What you doing with it? What are you pouring into you? Are you accepting the lack? Are you saying that you can't? Are you accepting and telling yourself continuously what you're not? Because the world standard says that you should walk around like a BBL, but have to take 2 seats on the plane because you done made your butt bigger than your brain. I'm just asking. Because while you are validating your outside world, your inside world is in chaos. You so busy building a new you that you forgot the you that you had to be inside of you. You can change the mirror, but you're still looking at lag. You can go buy the new boobs and the butt and the face and do all the things. And the person you're trying to build is the person that you're trying to cover up, the person you didn't believe in the first place. What am I going to change me for? A surgeon's going to fix it when the man who did it. So you say my blueprint's wrong. But he built me from nothing. You call yourself dirty and don't realize that you came from dirt. You call yourself less, but you don't realize the breath that was put into your lungs came from a superior oxygen source. We run around and we talk about how thankful we are for the things that can't fit in your casket. We all have a box. I am thankful for my clients. Whether they stand or whether they fall, I will always be there. I let her know as I stood in the hospital room. And the doctors came in and they said what they said. And my job said, well, I don't know if you can go. I got a promise to keep. Write me up if you like. I know where I'm headed. And I got in my truck and I left. And I held her hand and I brushed her hair. And I made a promise. So standing here recording, I made a promise I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep fighting for the women like you. I'm going to keep fighting to reunite your children together. I'm going to keep fighting for the men who believe that they still got it. I'm going to keep fighting for fathers to be reunited with their children. I'm going to keep fighting fentanyl with a fierce fight. There's not a drug I despise more. I'm going to fight, and I'm going to keep my promise. And I'm thankful for those I got to make it to. Thank you.
Thank you, Evie, for sharing your truth as always, and the real pandemic that we are facing as a society in this world, and it's been happening for a long time. But fentanyl has just really put the gas, it's put the foot on the gas, right? And we are losing loved ones left and right. So please, if you know someone who is struggling, if you're struggling yourself, reach out. We have a network of people. We can help guide you, get you to somebody who can help you with figuring out what that next best step is, because there are resources out there when you're ready. And want to give a moment of peace to the young lady that lost the battle to fentanyl. So, I just want to send my love to her and to all who are struggling and all who are working with people who are battling.
Thank you, Evie, for taking on that mantle and stepping up and making a promise to be the healer of queens and kings, regardless of external situations and circumstances. You're there to show the people their light and their worth. So thank you for stepping up and being yourself, for refilling through rebuilding.
And just want to also thank Evie for being a part of Activate Your Power Now, sharing. That's one of the things that she helps our activators with as well on a one-on-one, or even when we host our workshop, is that mirror session and helping to release the things that need to be released, but then not just releasing them, knowing, having some tools and some steps of what to do with it then, right? Because like she mentioned, when you're releasing into the mirror with this practice, it's going back into you, but it's gaining that awareness, that understanding, and having some tools of what to do with it next. So thank you. If you would like more information on this, hooking up with Evie and learning more about this release session, she's more than happy to speak with you. Just do it through social media. You can do it through our platform. She's on our website, activateyourpowernow.com. So I just want to give a big round of applause for Evie. Thank you so much.
And before we end, we have one more person that decided last minute that she wanted to say something. So let's give a warm round of applause for Micah.
And Micah is Activate Your Power Now's event planner, and she, as we mentioned at the beginning, has hosted us here at Yellow Door Event Space in Olathe the last couple months, and she's bringing so much to the table with Activate Your Power Now, and we are starting to plan for 2025. So thank you, Mike. I'm glad that you have something to share with everybody, because she's a powerhouse also.
Thank you for that. And I'm gonna be honest, I've been putting off speaking. I think y'all know that. I really wanted to focus at first on just being a part of the team here. You guys have something beautiful built. I think I'm one of the newest faces here, I think, to the team. And really there's not much left to say, because you guys all said it. You guys all said it. As I sat here in the front row, listening as I do, because I am here to listen, I felt every piece of your words touch me. It always feels like you're speaking right to me. I don't have a lot of words to give you, but I want to stand before you as a testament of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I just want the fact that I'm standing here to be a thank you.
Speaks volume.
Thank you, Micah.
Speaks
Thank
volume.
you, love you, because I've been told my whole life that the devil's out to get me. My whole life, the devil's out to get me. And it certainly looked that way. It certainly felt that way. I could stand here and tell you how I was raped and abused and neglected. I could tell you all the battles I fought as a warrior, as a queen, as a healer, as a teacher. But what I really want to say thank you for right now is for God, for sitting down in my lap 2 years ago and telling me when I didn't even believe that He existed, that I was made for more.
Mm.
Because 2 years ago, I owned several businesses. I thought I was happily married. I had the most perfect view from the outside of anyone looking in. I had it all. And I was the biggest chameleon you've ever met. Because I had it all because I was what I thought I needed to be to keep it. Because I didn't think I had any value to give. So I sat in every room I was in and tried to be what you needed. So that I had a reason to be here. In 2008, I was faced with the hardest moment of my life, I thought at the time. When I lost my brother, who had been the only consistent angel in my life to that time that I had been able to see. And again, since a child, and there's so much more to this story, and I can't wait to share the full with you, but this is very impromptu, so we'll get to that. But I was told my entire life that the devil's out to get me. And that made me feel like a burden for a very long time to many, many people. And I had decided that Tuesday, January 22nd, 2008, that I was ready to go back to God. I was ready. And I told the minister because I was pregnant with my first child. And I had been separated from God. I was faithful, I was Christian because I was told I was supposed to be. And I was pregnant with my first child, my daughter Jay. And so I told the minister that I worked with that I would go to church with her that next day. Because I wanted, if not for me, if I wasn't worth it, if I wasn't worth fighting for that relationship with God, my daughter was. So I was ready to fight. I was ready to fight for that relationship. A few hours later, I got a phone call that my brother had been killed in one of the most gruesome ways that anybody could ever have in life taken. A couple weeks later, I had to go back to work because we all had to go back to work. And that minister came to me and she looked at me in the face. And I looked at her and I said, "Why?" And she looked straight at me, meaning all the best, I'm sure. And she told me, "That's the devil out to get you." And I'm going to apologize for my language now. But my word for word to her, and Lord knows that this is not my truth anymore. But word to word, I looked straight at her and I said that he could fucking have me.
Yes.
And he took me.
Yes.
And he took me. And for 13 and a half years, I lived in hell. Hand in hand with the devil. Hand in hand with fear. Every moment of my life, everything that I did it hand in hand with Satan himself. We did it all together. And then one day, God said it's time. I gave up every belief I had in faith that day. Until God came back and said it's time. I didn't want to have conversations with people about God because I could convince you that he didn't exist. For 13 and a half years, I wasn't going to have a conversation. You don't want to talk to me about God because I will prove to you he's not real. For 13 and a half years. And then God came and said, "It's time to wake up." I was literally blind. I was blind. Then I see. And it's not been easy.
It's okay.
It's not been easy going from holding the hands of Satan to leaning on God. That's not been easy.
It's okay. It's okay.
But you did it.
I'm doing it.
Doing
Right
it.
now.
And I'm doing it. At first I was guided to be alone because I needed one voice in my mind and in my heart. And beginning my journey, I was alone with God. A God that I didn't understand or know, but I do now. And then, as the battles continued, and I continued to choose to fight for God, and I felt it was all too much. How am I supposed to do this? I literally was told I would get a team. And here you are.
Yep.
Everything you guys said is true. I promise. I thank God for reminding me that I am made for more every day.
Yes.
I have a problem with accepting that I'm special. It's hard. It's hard. But I am.
Sure.
I am special.
Yes, you are. Thank you, Mike.
Fearfully and wonderfully made.
I had a friend consistently trying to convince me that I'm special. I'm like, I can't accept that because everything that's inside of me is only here because it's God. God's light is so inside of me, and the truth is, it always has been. I've always been special. Even when I was holding hands with Satan, I was special. I mean, God chose me to walk for 13 and a half years in hell. Knowing that He's going to pull me out. Knowing that my heart could do it. And as I told her, I go, I'm not special. I just made it through. I just made it through because of God. God's special. The truth is, I am special. I am special because of all of you. Because all of you. I am because we are. Because I'd have no reason to stand here and thank God without you. I am because we are. And I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Micah. Powerful, powerful, powerful testimony. And it brings us right back to unity, right? We're not meant to do this life alone. And it's okay when we have to step aside and have that pause and that quiet time and make space for His voice only, your Creator. But then it's necessary to step back out with that truth, with that power, right? And unite with other people and share it with the world. So thank you. She'll be sharing more of her story 2025. I believe she's also going to have a book coming with her story. So yeah, it's very powerful, and I know so many people can relate with that. But yeah, it's through those dark times that we're really going to find our superpower, our divine, what I call divine purpose is what I was awoken to. And that's that purpose that's way bigger than me or anything I could have imagined. And it's always about serving, being willing to share what you've gone through with other people in a powerful way, empowering way. So thank you. And thank you everybody for tuning in for our speakers today.
I honor your bravery for coming up here unscripted and speaking from your heart. You said, I am because we are. God is because you are. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that wraps up today's Activate Your Power Now. Again, we thank you. If you have any questions, please reach out to any of the speakers. You'll find them on social media. Find them on Activate Your Power Now platform, also on websites. You'll find their handles there also. I believe I have most of them, not all of them. But just reach out. We'll get you in contact if that's what it needs to be. But if you're being called to, please take that next step and reach out and help yourself get to that next phase of where you are being called to go.
Mm-hmm. Like Izzy said, follow us on Facebook, Instagram at Activate Your Power Now. Our next event is going to be in February and March. So look forward to that. Check in, tune in, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Woo.